you've talked a little bit about on the show, but just
Mm-hmm.
your journey in discovering drag as
Yes.
a young boy in Arkansas. Like I'm from North Carolina, so I'm also from
Oh, so you get it.
so
Yes.
how was that process like in coming into and finding Symone?
Oh my goodness. It was, I don't know, it's really weird because when I was a kid, I was very shy,
Mm.
very into myself. Like I didn't really like, I would go to school and come home and close my door and that was it. You know what I mean? And so when I found drag, it was my way of expressing myself. And when I found it, I was like, oh wait, this is what it's like. I feel like I can like breathe, you know what I mean? So I'm not letting this go. And so I just literally just kind of like dove into it and just was like, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna, look. Like when I first started makeup, I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna look like. I was blessed. I was blessed, but highly favored, but I had no idea. And, I just saved up my money and I, you know, practiced my makeup. And then when I hit 18, prom came around and I did that. And I got such a wonderful reception from that. And then like a couple months, maybe like not, it couldn't have been that much longer after prom, I performed for the first time.
Mm.
And then that was really like, oh, you're a good bitch. And this is fun. Like being on stage is fun and you're a good bitch. So, and then after that, I had stopped full force.
Your drag has so many references and there's so many good
Yes.
pop culture from the Diana moment last episode to
Uh,
the callbacks with Baps. I felt like in the three in one, not the three in one, but the three part
the
way.
day and night.
Yes.
Yeah.
um and I wanted to know your drag inspirations because I get a lot of pop culture icons and
Yes.
especially black pop culture icons and
Yes.
black pop culture moments. So
Yeah.
what are some of the moments in pop culture history that you use for your aesthetic?
I well, first, Symone is just like I model her after Black women. I feel like she like all the things that we love about Black women, the strength, the power, the beauty, the glamour, the ambiance, the opulence of it. That's who Symone is. And so I love Rihanna. That is like, everyone has a queen. That's my queen. I love Lil Kim. I love Grace Jones. I love Naomi Campbell, obviously. Diana, of course, is one as well. Whitney Houston. Just I feel like all of those people, Tina Turner's in there as well. And so when you get all those people, I feel like that is who Symone is.
Yes,
Those are my top for me.
all icons, all icons.
All icons in their own way and for very different reasons. And like they all, shaped who I am in my perspective on and for different reasons, but all for the same, like coming from the same, like, thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And thinking about, when you found out that you were going to be on season 13 in the
Uh-huh.
middle of the pandemic,
Yes.
what so what was going through your head when you realized that? And then also, what was just the overall experience of filming a TV show where you have to kind of be in close quarters in a lot of circumstances during the COVID era?
Well, when I found out about it, I was one relieved that it was happening because I was like, because we didn't know. We were like,
Mhm.
um, we sent in our audition tapes and then COVID hit. And so we were like, well, we don't know if we're gonna hear back this year. So when I got the call specifically, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, I get to do drag and be on TV and fully showcase who I am. And so I was excited personally. But filming it was obviously, different than any other seasons because I felt like as a cast, because we and a few other people were only allowed to be together. So as a cast, I feel like are closer in a lot of ways than any other will be because we were all we had in a lot of a sense. And so we had to entertain ourselves and, be in our bubble, so to speak. And it was different because we couldn't be as close with the crew, like they couldn't be as close to us as distance, and like you know there were and they did a very good job of making us feel safe, but there wasn't as much of a camaraderie between like producers and crew and those sorts of things. But they kept us safe and we still had a real good time. As
I
you
mean,
can
I mean,
see.
we could definitely see.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about the experience of gaining all these new sisters. and the relationships between you and your other castmates. It's been really fun to see. I know sometimes it gets spicy, as we saw in this
Oh,
recent episode.
baby. Did you see Untucked?
Yes. No, I saw a tweet that said like this was the definition of if you don't watch Untucked, you're only getting half of the story.
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
the definition of that. But just in general, how has it been finding sisterhood with these other contestants?
I think it's been a beautiful experience. You know, like of course you go into the competition you wanting to win. Like that's number one. At least I hope so. And so but like it's nice to go in and know that you left with people who shared the same experience that we had. We're the first cast to ever go through this. You know, we're the and we went through it and it was tough and it was hard, but it was also very fun. And it's an experience that no one else has that we all share. And I think that has made us definitely closer as a cast. And it made us in a way, I feel like, you know, hungrier for it. Cause you know, it's like we're here, we made it in spite of what's going on, but you know, we're gonna turn it. And baby, we've been. So I think the experience of just having sisters, like it's beautiful. It's beautiful because you know, drag queens, we can be catty sometimes, you know. But you know, we did what we did, but we cool. For the most part, most of us are real close, real cool.
Yeah. I appreciate it so much the last episode highlighting the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yes.
It was such an important issue. I'm so glad the show took time to address it. I wanted to ask, you know, for years, queens have talked about facing toxic fans and like sometimes the bad parts of the fandom. How did you prepare, knowing you're going on TV, how did you prepare in order to be faced with some of that stuff? And also, how has that experience been so far for you, you know, throughout the season already?
Well, one, I was like, okay, I've seen the good of what the fandom is, because there's a lot of good, there is a lot of love, but I've also seen the rotted part of it. And I was like, you know, you will never know until you're going through it, but you have an understanding because, you know, Gigi went through it and I saw from the back end of how crazy it can get. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, you know, so now that you have that knowledge, you need to prepare yourself in the sense that this is what you brought to the show. You have to love it and defend it and know that this is who you are and be okay with that. And if people don't like it, that's great. And if they love it, that's even better. So like, I just had to really take myself out of allowing myself to be affected by it. You know, just this is what you brought, this is what you're doing, this is what you did. So if they love it, great. If they don't, even that's great too. You know, everyone has an opinion. But I also knew there was another layer of me being a color and I didn't know how it was going to be perceived. You know, you just never know until it's on TV. So it's just, it's a level of control you just have to let go of because you don't have it. So I think I just let go of whether it's the love or the like, you know, and enjoyed myself and had a good time and presented what I wanted to on there and didn't care. But for the most part, it has been a lot of love and more than I expected, really. And honestly, I say that genuinely. I knew that, you know, the people that I wanted to see it and wanted to enjoy it would, but I did not expect the love that I've gotten. I'm very, very happy, grateful.
You know, I wish sometimes that the fans would, you know, kind of at least meet y'all halfway because, you know, like at the end of the day, you want to be entertained. And even
Absolutely.
with last week's episode, like if it wasn't any drama going on, they'd be saying, "Oh, this is RuPaul's best friend race."
That's what it is.
But then when some drama happens, it's like, "Oh, you can't do this."
You can't do that. You can't say that. It's just, it's like, you know, people have been talking about, oh, you know, some of past casts are all too nice. It's the best friend season. It's too kumbaya. And then it's like, once they're spicy, it's like, oh, well, she's aggressive, or, you know, she was, you know, all of these things. And it's like, okay, well, you know, this is how drag queens are. This is how people are. This is actually what happens in the back rooms that y'all don't get to see, you know? So it's like, yeah, you want the drama or you don't. You got to pick a side. Pick a side, Dave. Pick a side.
I do think that it's, I seem to think it's trending in the right direction as far as, you know, fans being more cognizant of their behavior.
Yes,
Like, if you like a certain queen, show them love. You can do that without, tearing down another queen. And
absolutely.
I'm liking how it seems that people are coming together to also support all of the cast. Like, I think this is the
Yes,
first season where I've kind of seen, everyone is kind of like showing love to the cast as a whole. Like, everyone has their favorites, but
of
you just
course.
know in general, especially during this time period we're in. But people also have to understand, like, it's a pressure cooker too. Like, y'all
Yeah.
filming during COVID. On
We're
top
filming
of
during
everything
COVID.
else.
We're filming early. It's early days. Like we ain't waking up at like 12 hitting it. Like no, we're waking up at like 6, going through being in drag for 12 plus hours, trying to present the best of who we are, and you like and still and not knowing what's coming around the corner. I mean, of course, the anxieties, pressures, angers, happiness are gonna go up and through the roof. So people just you will never understand until you're on TV or you're going through something like that, and that's just part of it. But I agree. I wish people would kind of meet us halfway and understand that this at the end of the day, this is a TV show. We're here to entertain. We
Yeah.
drag queens. That's what we do. So I wish people were more cognizant of that. And I do think you're right though that especially after the kind of what happened with Britta last season and
Mhm.
how much hate and just nastiness that she received, I think people are kind of aware of being like, wait, let's take a step back and realize that they may put on all these costumes and wigs, but they're still people underneath. And I think and all of us, even as a cast, are like, we're going to make sure that we say that this is who we're sisters. We got each other. We're riding, and we gon' and even if you don't support one girl, you ain't got to tear the other one down. You know what I mean? So I think I agree with you. I think we're starting to get to the other side of it.
Mhm. Mhm. And
And I think COVID kind of helps with that too.
it does.
We're already in misery, so let's support this.
Yeah.
Let's have a little good time.
The iconic do-rag look. So we
Yes.
already have iconic looks, but definitely that look in particular. What made you, how did you conceptualize that? Like, if I haven't seen that, I saw it like maybe I think it was at maybe the Grammys red carpet. I
It
know
was
the
the Grammys.
WAP Dad 4000.
Yeah.
I saw that he commented on your Instagram, which was so cool. He shared it.
Yes,
That was so amazing because drag and hip hop I think go together. We may not
absolutely.
think that a lot of times, but it really does.
Yeah.
But how did you conceptualize that look and bringing that to a stage like Drag Race for a lot of people? I mean, no shade, like not a lot of the fans are exposed to a lot of that culture.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
how was that like?
It was well, we got the package first, and that was the runway, and I was like, I know most of the people, most of the girls are gonna do a train that's from like behind or from the shoulders, and I don't want to do that. So what in my Rolodex of things that I want to show on this show and bring can I do and make it fit the prompt,
Mhm.
trains? And I was like, a do-rag. It literally just hit me. I was in the car and I was just going through, and it's like I've always loved the aesthetic of a do-rag, especially on men. And so I was like, I want to bring that, and it had never been done before. And I knew that the people who watch this show need to see it, A, and understand where it comes from and understand because there is a stigma that comes with it. There is an image that people have of the people that wear it, and I wanted to just play with it but then put it on its head.
Mhm.
And I think I did that. And
Absolutely, absolutely.
it was one of my favorite looks that I brought, because I understood what I was doing. I understood the impact of it, and I really wanted to show it in a very beautiful light because that's how I see it. And that's how I want people to see it, whether it's on me, whether it's on another male, or, I just wanted it to be seen the way I see it, and which is beautiful, Black, part of our culture, and something to be celebrated. And that that was my thought process. And, I had my friend Mark, my housemate, I was like, that's the idea I want to do. And we looked through, as I said, Rihanna is one of my favorite people in the world, and I love her fashion. And I was looking through her it was her second collection she did with Puma,
Mhm.
and we were looking through that and just, how can we found a silhouette that we liked, found the colors that we liked, and it just grew into this beautiful garment that I'm so proud of. The people that look like me, that little gay Black queer kids that watch the show and saw that and was just inspired by it and to like be okay with who they are, like their blackness, which was really hard for me growing up. That was being black and gay, you know?
Mm.
And I hope that people saw that and were inspired and just gave a little bit more pride, you know?
Yeah.
And so if that, I hope so. I hope so, but you never know.
What do you hope no matter what happens, what do you hope comes out of your stint on the show?
I hope that people are inspired to be themselves. I hope that's what I get. I hope, especially specifically Black queer people. That is what I hope my stint on the show represents. That, you know, a lot of us are told that it's wrong or that the things we love are, you know, that we're not supposed to love those things, boss up, be a man, to all these things that we're told specifically to us. I hope that my stint shows that you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is be yourself and love what you do. And that's all you're here for, to live this life, live your life, no matter what anyone says. And it's a lesson that I had to learn. It took me a long time, but I learned it, and I learned it so that other people can see me and learn the same thing. So that's what I hope people get from it. And I say that in the most humble way.
And overall, shout out to the Black excellence on this season as well. I think this is one of
Yes.
the most melanin filled seasons. I think
Yeah.
season 11 had a lot of Black queens, but
Yes.
you have you and Olivia and Candy and Tamisha and
Andy.
Lala, and
Lala.
all of y'all are different. Like each one of you all brings like a different perspective to
Yeah.
to the show. So a lot of times, especially like the fandom likes to, I guess, box all of you all together, but
Absolutely.
everyone is different. Everyone is bringing something different to the competition, and it's good to see that. I don't know why. Maybe it is COVID that just makes everyone that's making everyone just feel some type of different about this season than past seasons. But it just, the energy just seems to be like more hopeful, and just in general, it seems to be a hopeful season.
I think for us, I think we all were kind of cognizant of the time we're in and when this was going to air. And so I think a lot of us kind of was just like, we're gonna be on TV. We're a lot of happiness for people. We're a lot of escape for people. So let's give it to them. Let's be ourselves. Let's, show our different perspectives on the experience of, being Black, but also just being queens and just having fun. And I think that comes through on the TV, and I'm so happy people are receiving it, because that's what we wanted. That's truly, we talked about it many times, on camera, off camera, like that's what we really wanted from this season, is for us to just entertain and have a good time and not, just be ourselves at all, hang out, honey. That's what that was our goal. So I'm glad that people are receiving it and loving it.
But it was such a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, it was great talking to you too. Thank you for having me. I would love to do it again.
Yes, yes.